Hey, it's Osha. Hiya, future family. And hello, everyone on the internet. Today I'm just going to do a brief video. I've rearranged my workspace with my lathe. I just want to talk about some of the features and maybe give you some food for thought if you're going to be setting up a lathe in your workshop. Alright, cool. Here we go. So here's the lathe faced out from the wall. I've got plenty of space for turning on this side, and I've got space for turning outboard at the end of the lathe. Now behind that I've got a cloth for catching the chips. I've got my dust extraction set up there and here. Just a very cheap dust extractor, which you might notice is not connected right now, but it will be connected tomorrow to that. We don't need to catch chips. I mean, we would need a hell of a setup as wood turners to catch chips, but catching dust when we're sanding, that's a good idea, so that's what that's for. I've got a nice mat. I've been using this for quite a while. This is usually used for kitchens, actually, but I find this to be very good if you're stood at the lathe for several hours. Next to that, I've got my ready set. So I've got my tools here, which I use frequently. It's a bit of a mess, but you know, it's the real world. It's not some YouTube channel. This is how I work. And I've got my tool wall, which behind here I've got my glues that I use regularly, so CA glue and wood glues. I've got chisels up there, which I use less regularly, but still they're available to me. And all of that's on a movable trolley for my ready set. And then behind me when I'm turning, I've got a sander, which I can use for sharpening, or I have my actual sharpening device there, which I can use as well. The point is that it's very close to me, so it's easy to turn around. I've also got my wind blower here, which is useful to get rid of the dust in the bowls before applying some alcohol to them. Here I've made a completely new workbench, and some of the features are it's on wheels. It is lower in height than my table saw, so it won't interfere with the table saw if it's moved closer to the table saw. Here I'm going to be doing all my glue ups and gluing my rings and so on and so forth. Here I've got my center finder and a ruler available. I've got all my clamps for clamping blocks together, and around this side I've even got my I don't know what these are called. What are these called? For flattening the grinding wheels here. Yeah, just about everything I could want. I'm often using cloths and cutting cloths, so I keep a pair of scissors handy and a box of cloths down there as well. So that's just about everything set up for the lathe. So that was a quick review. Oh, another feature here. I've got a fan, I've got an infrared heating device, and I've got a heater / cooler here as well. So those are all targeted towards where I'm working. So it gets pretty cold in the winter in Poland, and it gets pretty hot in the summer. So this is my best friends in the workshop, and probably the best purchases I've ever made apart from the lathe. So there you go. That's my new setup. I'll probably do a short video on the bench shortly and look at all the features in detail, because I promised I would do that. But you can see there it is a wood turner's bench, not a woodworker's bench. I previously had a woodworker's bench. It took up a lot of the workshop. I didn't need all the features. I'm not going to be using that anymore, so I took it apart and rebuilt a much more reasonable bench for the kinds of work that I do at the lathe. Alright, thanks very much. Have a great week. Bye bye now.